Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear viewers and subscribers, I am meeting you after quite some time, but it was due to some unavoidable reasons. Today I am going to discuss the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, and I have divided my discussion into three parts because it's a long discussion. The first part begins like this. The love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, published in 1917 under the title Prufrock and Other Observations, is one of the earliest poems of T.S. Eliot. As the very title of the poem suggests, this is a poem about a person named Prufrock, who is presumably in love with some lady. But as we proceed further into the heart of the poem, we are surprised to note that there is no such thing as love in it. And what is more interesting is that Prufrock, who pretends to be in love, is not even capable of expressing his love to his lady. The irony implied in the title of the poem is thus obvious. Next to the title comes the epigraph of the poem. The epigraph in Eliot's poetry is never to be ignored. It is in fact an essential part of the poem and functions as its genesis. The epigraph states the situation of another character who was called upon to reveal himself. Now the question is, how is it related to the poem under review? Now the question, are the two characters alike or merely in similar situation? Apparently enough, the similarity lies in the situation. What then is the situation? In the Inferno, under bracket 27, 61, 66. Oh, this is the number in the Inferno. The flame of Guido is asked to identify himself. So may thy name on earth maintain its front. And he replies in the words of the epigraph, if I thought my answer were to one whoever could return to the world, this flame should shake no more. But since no one ever could return alive from this depth, if what I hear to be true, without fear of infamy I answer thee. Prufrock is exactly in the same situation. He answers his suppressed self because there is no fear of being exposed. This reason for the suppression is fear. The fear of being rejected by his beloved. Thus Eliot, by transposing his epigraph from the serious context of Dante's Inferno to the lighter context of Prufrock's love song, has mixed levity with seriousness. The poem opens with, let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread against the sky, like a patient etherized upon the table. The expression, let us go then, suggests that you and I were engaged in a debate and that the subjective I is surrendering to the objective you and agreeing to go somewhere. The next obvious question is, who are the you and I? and where they are going. The I is the speaker, but who is the you addressed? The you, as many would think, is not his beloved, but the suppressed self of Prufrock. His beloved, it must be remembered, has been addressed in the poem by the pronoun her. Thus, Prufrock is in a state of dilemma. A great deal of psychological conflict is going on in his mind. The time is evening, but the evening takes an unusual character. The evening that is subjectively comprehended through the eyes of Prufrock. To him, the evening appears in the aspect of etherization. The metaphor of etherization suggests the desire for inactivity. In other words, the evening is half dead and half alive. It is in a state of inertia. All this simply projects the mind of the speaker. A mind that is in conflict, but presumably concerned with them. The next thing that we are told is the way of going. It is a surprising way through a cheap section of the town. The abrupt break after the mention of the question is indicative of an emotional block, which is again emphasized by the refusal to identify the question. In the next two lines, we are given an idea about his destination. This is suggested by the expression in the room. He has reached a room in which women are busy talking about the sculptures of heroic figures like Michelangelo. A good deal of irony and desire is hidden in these two lines. T.S. Eliot's attempt for the fashionable young women of the day, T.S. Eliot's contempt for the fashionable young women of the day is quite apparent here. They talk about the great artists like Michelangelo, even without having any knowledge about the ability and to appreciate a work of art. Eliot is also satirical of the passivity of modern man. Michelangelo, an image of creativity, reminds us of the passivity of Prufrock. Thank you very much.